All right, sit down, lie down, squat down. But I'm back. Belle, Tellz. So, we're back. The holidays are done. So we were, Cowboy and I, let me rephrase that. Cowboy and I were driving around yesterday, running errands, doing our thing. And we're just kind of spitballing some ideas. And so what I kind of suggested is him to tell the story about one night when he had to go to the cemetery. So years ago in his youth, I hate to say that, but when he was younger, he was a deputy sheriff. So he would go, he has told me different stories about different calls he went on. And so this particular call that he went on, dispatch had called him and dispatched him out to a cemetery. And the report had come in that they were hearing a loud scream from the cemetery. And so they sent him out to check to make sure everybody was okay. And, just to see what was going on. So at this point, I'm going to let him tell the story on what happened. So go ahead.
Well, I arrived there and got out of the unit.
You were waiting for backup, right?
Yeah, but I went ahead and got out of my unit. And
okay, so hold on. Unit, what he means by that is his vehicle. So when you hear him say unit, he's talking about his car. All right, go ahead.
So I just kind of got out of my unit and shined my flashlight around, and then I heard the noise. And I was like, okay, there is definitely a loud noise, roaring type.
Well, you said it was like a blood-curdling scream.
Yes, it was. It was a scream, but it was also like
I wouldn't have gone.
But there was like a little type of a roar to it as well.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to explain. And anyway, so I waited for backup. Another officer had arrived, and I went one way and he went the other way.
Well, he didn't want to go the other way because you were like.
Yeah, he didn't want to leave me. He didn't like cemeteries at night, and it was.
Well, that's scary. Well, and you told him, you were like, hey, you go this way and I'll go this way. And he was like, we're going to split up. And Cowboy was like, yeah, don't you want to get out of here? Cover this area faster. But I think I'm sorry, but cemeteries spook me anyways. Going at night, I would have been on edge at the very least.
True. Everybody doesn't like to be at cemeteries at nighttime. Especially when there's reports of a loud, blood-curdling roar, screaming,
Right.
So, I wanted to cover the grounds very quickly, see what's going on, and get out of there. I did. I mean, I wasn't scared or anything, but this guy that showed up, he did not want to leave me. He was like, "No, I'm gonna stay with you, and we're gonna go together." And it's. I said, no, we need to cover the grounds, and you go this way and I'll go this way. And so as I'm moving along on my way that I chose to pick, and we heard that noise again came up, I looked up, and all I seen was the other officer running back to his unit.
So he ran back to his car and left him standing there. Like, didn't he just fire up the car and he was gone?
Yeah, I mean, he fired up the car and he left. He left the scene, left me there
alone.
He was gone, and I'm like, really? Man, you got a gun on you, and you just leave me out here? So as I walked on through the cemetery and
well, you called dispatch too, and you said,
yes, I did. I did call dispatch.
Send me another unit.
Send me another unit out. I did.
She asked what happened.
I said the other guy got scared and left.
On the radio. So all the other officers heard this, and so when he was first telling me this story, I said, "What did dispatch do?" And he said, well, dispatch, you heard her giggle over the radio. And so he continued to look through the cemetery, and he said he heard the scream again. And so where was it coming from?
It had the cemetery had this little area in the back that it had people that were buried above the ground. I don't know what you call it. There's a name for it. I don't know what you call it, but anyway, it's a little area you walk into, and you got caskets inside
The wall, right?
the wall and stuff like that. And anyway, so that's where the noise was coming from. So I kind of made my way in there and looked around, and there was a kid.
Well, you first saw the head. It came up, came down, and he was like, somebody's in here with me.
Right.
And
it was, yeah.
And head popped up, and you said, cut that crap off and get down here.
Right. And so he had a metal can. And he had a string. He had a hole poked through the bottom of the can. And he would wet his fingers. He had like a little bottle of water, and he would wet his fingers, and he would move his fingers across that string, and it would make a blood curdling roar. Like what the world is going on? Like, it would scare people to death.
And when you said that sound would hit that glass, and would ricochet out across
it would echo,
the cemetery.
It would echo all the way out. So people in houses that was near the cemetery, that and I mean, if they were outside, they could hear it. And so anyway, I thought it was funny. I got the kid out, and I asked him where he lived. He told me where he lived. I took him home. I talked to his parents, and I said, this kid had the whole left side of the community scared to death.
Well, you said you got back in your unit and busted out laughing.
Yes, I did.
And he asked the kid, what you forgot to tell is he asked the kid, why are you doing this? And he says, well, people get scared and they call the police. And he said, I have scared off every officer but you. You've been the first one I haven't scared off. He said, I got the other one tonight. So that is, I don't know what life lesson to be learned. Stay out of the cemeteries. Don't play in the cemeteries.
Yes. Stay out of the cemeteries.
Don't play in the cemeteries. There you have
Yeah.
it. All right, y'all. That's it. A little funny today. Please and thank yous are a must. Smile never hurt no one. Be cognizant of the things you say and how you say them, because kindness is priceless. All right, y'all. Have a good week. Bye.